We'll call to order the meeting for the City of Statesboro, February the 20th meeting. We will have our invocation and pledge of allegiance. We'll have our invocation by Alan Moultrie.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts. We thank you that we have this opportunity as a democracy and our elected officials, Lord. We thank you for each and every one of them, and our city manager and all of our employees for the city, Lord. We thank you for them. We thank you for your guidance and your wisdom upon us, Lord, as we try to make decisions that are pleasing unto you. Heavenly Father, we are grateful. May we be a grateful people throughout the day and throughout the year. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move down to agenda item 3, recognition of public presentations. We have one item there, and that's a presentation by Mr. Richard Deal with Lanier Deal and Parker on how the city financially ended fiscal year 2023.
We went through the financials in detail in the work session. Just to kind of summarize again, the city is doing well financially, financially strong. Just to say that the city's in total, the city's statement of net position, the city has total assets of $204 million, total liabilities of $58 million, and it has net position in total for the city of $148,768,000. The city's net position increased a little over $14 million or 10%, which is good. The city's expenses in total for all the governmental activities, including depreciation, was $29.3 million. Total governmental activity revenue was $38.6 million. The general fund had a fund balance of $6.9 million. It did have a decrease for the year of $1 million, but it still has the fund balance still represents about 35% of your annual expenditures and transfers out to other funds. But you're still in good shape there. And proprietary funds had total net position of $76.2 million and had total revenues of $26.2 million, total expenses of $22.6 million, and total operating income for the enterprise funds was $3.6 million. That's just, again, the city, I'd be glad to go in further detail or answer any questions anyone might have.
Any questions from council? Seeing that there's none, thank you.
Yes.
It's on the consent.
It's on the consent agenda. All right.
Thank y'all.
All right. We'll move down to public comments. Any comments for the first portion?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. We'll move down to agenda item 5, consideration of a motion to approve the consent agenda, which considers item 5A, approval of minutes for our February the 6th, 2024 council minutes, as well as item 5B, consideration of motion to approve the City of Statesboro fiscal year 2023 audit. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We'll move down to agenda item 6, which is a public hearing, consideration of a motion to approve application RZ 24-01-01, Blue River Development LLC request for zoning map amendment from the R40 single family residential to the R4 high density residential zoning district for approximately 39.98 acres of property in order to develop a 196 unit duplex townhome development on the southern quadrant of Old Register Road. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Kathy, if you will.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Currently, the property is a vacant area with a number of wetlands immediately to the south of the Tormentor practice fields. This area was originally conceived as a part of the old Register TAD, which would have the clubhouse, variable housing types, the public shopping center, as well as Tormentor Stadium. The development type proposed in the area is a newer development style, not generally seen in the area, and therefore best suits the development criteria of the R4 high-density residential zoning district. And you can see the location map. We had trouble, basically it shows a lot of the undeveloped area, but we tried to discern by drawing horizontal lines. So that is the parcel in question that we're looking at, okay? The future development plan shows this to be basically in the activity center, regional center. The area is currently zoned R40. And the subject property is shown on the top left. The property to the north, which shows the practice fields, is shown on the bottom right. More of the subject property along Old Register Road is shown on the top left, and the property to the west on the bottom right. And this is a preliminary site plan. It does show the constraints of the wetlands on there. So basically, what is being developed is in a development-ready area. Staff does recommend approval of RZ 24-01-01. If this petition is approved by the mayor and city council, it should be subject to the applicant's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. 1, approval of the zoning map amendment does not grant the right to develop on the site without approval. All construction must be approved by the city. 2, due to the proposed density, a traffic impact analysis will be required before issuance of a land disturbance permit to identify any potential traffic calming measures. 3, the developer must install sidewalks on Old Register Road in accordance with Chapter 3, Section 3.2.3U of the Unified Development Code. At the regularly scheduled meeting of the Planning Commission on February 6, 2024, the Commission recommended approval of the request with conditions on a 6-0 vote. That is my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. Is there anyone here to speak for this request?
Mayor and Council, Darren Van Tassel. This is part of the development project that we've come to you many times before. We're so thrilled the old register TAD is being filled up quickly. That's how we can pay these TADs back pretty quickly. And while we spent most of our initial phases on the retail side of things with Publix and what's going on in the new Chick-fil-A and the University Station, this is our first residential piece that will be in here. And we partner with Blue River to do that. Joey Maxwell is here from Maxwell Reddick if there are any technical questions, and he'll be available. And thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone here to speak against this request? All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we want to open this up for council discussion. Any discussion by council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So Kathy's report made reference to the fact that this is a different kind of configuration and higher density, which makes it more suitable for being allowed to put more in. That's right.
Yes, it basically, if you can envision this, is a duplex townhouse. And on the first floor, essentially, are the garages. On the second floor is your living area. Now, the front is living area A, and the back is living area B. And then the third floor, which again emulates living area A in the front and living area B in the back, are composed of the bedrooms. So it's a duplex townhome.
It's 3 stories with a garage.
3 stories with the garage on the first floor, that's right. So, yeah, very different.
It would be subject to the same things we put in the code about townhomes, about amenity space and green space, and of course, leaving 35% of trees or replacing.
Yes, that's right.
What's the price point on these?
You have to ask the developer that. So, I'm sorry, but it's an R4, so it's not a townhome, it's not an R2, it's an R4, which means that 10% of it needs to be green space or amenity space. So I just want to make sure you know that.
It's still subject to 35% tree
Yes,
count.
that is right, correct. That's,
Additional-
because that's under the tree ordinance. That's right. So, I'm not sure if the developer can answer that question or not.
What, my question or Sherry's question?
She answered mine.
Okay.
Yes, and yours was what the rent would be.
Yeah. What's the price point on it?
Yeah.
With 3 stories.
Well, Joey Maxwell, Maxwell Redigan Associates. I wish I could answer that question, but I really can't answer that question. I don't know how much this thing costs because it's actually only been built in one other location thus far. So this will be the second time it's built. So with construction costs, I couldn't really speculate on that cost. But as Miss Kathy was saying earlier, it is a unique product. It is a townhome, but a duplex, and that's why the R4 zoning is more appropriate than, say, the townhome zoning ordinance, because it's like an apartment complex with garages. So it is very unique, but I wish I could answer that question truthfully.
The other place that it was built, what was their price point?
I don't know. I'm just a civil engineer, so I don't.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They don't give me that info, but I sure would. I'll see if I can get that for you now.
Okay.
Thank you. Any further discussion by council?
I think I'm not allowed to ask if this is intended to be homeowner or rental property.
Okay.
Are we supposed to ask that? Okay, never mind.
It's only about the suitability of the zoning map. That's it.
Paulette, I do know, of some similar to this. They have one car, indoor garage, and they have two. Anyway, it's,
Beacon West.
no man, that might be the name of it.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm thinking about, Burkhalter and Russian Road. What's that? Greystone. Those look more similar than anything I've seen in town. Yes, very nice places.
I assume.
Any further discussion by council? All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve with staff, conditions?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 7, which is a public hearing, consideration of a motion to approve, application CUB 24-01-02. Nikki H. Grant requests a conditional use variance in the R15 single-family residential zoning district in order to allow for institutional residential uses, specifically a personal care home at 402 Marvin Avenue.
Mr. Mayor, I'm related to the owner here, so I need to recuse myself. I don't know if you want to stay here.
Okay. Recusal accepted, you can stay in your space. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Kathy, if you will, give us some insight on this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Currently, the property serves as a group home as authorized by conditional use variance 18-01-01, which allowed up to 6 children as residents. The applicant is requesting to provide services as an adult personal care home, which along with group homes falls under the institutional residential category in the Unified Development Code. Generally, institutional residential uses are allowed by right only in the office and business, mixed use, and highway-oriented commercial districts. But there is a precedent for allowing these in traditional residential neighborhoods. And you can see the parcel outlined in red along Marvin Avenue. The future land use map does show this as being located within the residential redevelopment area. The current zoning is R15. And the subject property is on the top left. The property across the street is on the bottom right. Property to the east is on the top left, and the property to the west on the bottom right. Staff does recommend approval of, pardon me, of CUV 24-01-02. If this petition is approved by the mayor and city council, it should be subject to the applicant's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. 1, approval of the conditional use variance does not grant the right to conduct renovations to the facility. All renovations must be completed through the building permit application process. 2, this conditional use does not grant the rights associated with all institutional residential uses, but primarily grants the right to utilize the property as a personal care home. 3, this conditional use does not remove the associated rights and conditions as granted by CUV 18-01-01. At the regularly scheduled meeting of the Planning Commission on February 6, 2024, the Commission recommended approval of the request with staff recommendations on a 6-0 vote. That is my presentation. Thank you.
Is there anyone here to speak for the request?
We are currently on 402 Marvin Avenue. We have a boys' home. There was a boys' home. We're just asking for a personal care home to be approved.
Okay.
On 402 Marvin Avenue, it was a boys' home, residential. So we're just requesting a personal care home.
All right, thank you. If the council have any further discussion, we'll call you. Yeah. All right, thank you. And y'all didn't say your name? Yeah.
Oh, I'm Nikki Grant,
There you go.
and this is Alexander Smith.
Yeah, I think I've seen y'all.
Yes,
sir.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
you. Is there anyone here to speak against the request? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to close the hearing? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we want to open this up for council discussion. Is there any further council discussion?
I do have one question. Is anybody ever, any neighbors against this?
When we came before the council at the last meeting.
Come forward.
This is at the planning commission?
Yeah, when we came before the council at the last meeting, there was a gentleman that came up and opposed the new plans. There was a gentleman that did oppose it.
Planning board meeting?
Sir?
Planning commission?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did he give a reason?
His reasoning was he didn't understand why the council approved for it to be a group home there in the first place. So he said that he was upset because a lot of businesses was coming in the area. That's basically all I can remember.
Okay.
Well, he's not here now, so.
Any further questions? Seeing that there is none.
No, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve with staff? Oh, excuse me. Any further discussion by council? Okay. Is there a motion to approve with staff conditions?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 8, which is a public hearing and consideration of a motion to approve application SE 24-01-03. Jimmy Henley requests a special exception to the old office and business zone district in order to open a retail thrift shop at 217 Savannah Avenue.
And Mr. Mayor, I am the applicant, so I'm gonna step off of this one.
Okay. Step out there. No, she can have a seat right there. Yeah. Okay. All right, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, Kathy, if you will.
Yes, the property is currently an existing building located on Savannah Avenue,
Oh, okay.
which last served
Okay.
as,
Hold 1 second. All those in favor?
oh,
No, go ahead.
sorry, I jumped the gun.
Yeah, no, that.
The property is currently an existing building located on Savannah Avenue, which last served as the Branch Law Firm. The location is generally in a commercial area which contains a mix of commercial uses as the street transitions into the central business district. Historically, properties in the office and business district are used as agencies, banks, funeral homes, and other businesses or professional offices. However, there have been exceptions made for allowing retail uses in areas zoned for office use along specific highway corridors and in transitional areas. And you can see the site outlined in red. And the future land use map shows this to be in an established residential neighborhood. And the current zoning shows the office. And I will point out to you that this block is in transition, that there are a number of shops and other establishments along here as it flows into the CBD area. The subject property is on the top left. Property next door is on the bottom right. The property to the east is shown on the top left, and the property to the south, which is across the street, on the bottom right. Staff does recommend approval of SC 24-01-03. If this petition is approved by the Mayor and City Council, it should be subject to the applicant's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. 1, approval of the special exception may only allow for the addition of other retail establishments as per section 2.3.2L under the comprehensive tables of the Statesboro Unified Development Code. 2, no additional development may take place on the property without approvals. At the regularly scheduled meeting of the Planning Commission on February 6, 2024, the Commission recommended approval of the request with staff conditions on a 6-0 vote. That is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Is there anyone here to speak for this request?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. My name is Chris Gohagan with Taubey Rushing Law Firm here in Statesboro. Pleased to be here tonight on behalf of Ms. Henley in support of her application for a special exception authorizing a retail establishment at 217 Savannah Avenue. Many of you have had a chance, you all had a chance now to get to know Ms. Henley as I have, and you're probably also familiar with her family's lineage and history of entrepreneurship and philanthropy in this community. Virginia Love, which is the name of the retail operation to be located at 217 Savannah Avenue, is an extension of that legacy. It has two purposes, which is to serve its customers and to serve this community. Ms. Henley does that in a number of ways. This is a retail operation designed to generate revenue to be reinvested in our community. Pleased to be here in support of the petition. Hope you'll look favorably on it. We thank staff for their report and their work on this project. We agree with their findings. If we could see out of those windows right now, we could probably see this location. It is at the very west end of Savannah Avenue in the transition into downtown. It is surrounded by office and commercial locations. It is itself a commercial building that's been vacant for a number of years. This is a great opportunity on our main thoroughfare, right at within eyesight of our downtown, to put a building back into use and to create a productive, positive influence for our community. I think a main reason that retail operations aren't just an expressly allowed use within an office and business designation is the fear of traffic counts. This is a high-end thrift shop. It is not going to have high traffic counts. It's not like a restaurant or a CVS where people are in and out all day long. In fact, a number of people who will likely use this location will probably come on foot from some of the professional offices that are situated in very close proximity to this space. Ms. Henley agrees with all of the conditions recommended by staff in their report. The site has tremendous access. It has 3 entries, one on the front, one on the side, one on the back, a brand new handicap entrance on the back. It has 6 dedicated parking spaces, including a handicap space, and it's totally adequate site for the type of operation she wants to use. And I'm excited for our community that she'll be able to locate here and reinvest back into our community. As she's begun to build inventory, she's already begun her donations. Services like Open Hearts Community Mission have already begun to receive donations from Virginia Love just as she's built inventory. And so once she's authorized to get open, I think the public impact, the benefit on our community will grow, and we're excited to see it flourish at this space. I'll remain available if you have any questions for me, and we hope you'll look favorably on this application.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here to speak against this request? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to close the hearing? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We want to open it up for council discussion. Is there any discussion by council?
Where is the parking? Is it in the back?
Yes. It's in the back.
It is in the rear. I don't know if you can see on the panel, there's what kind of looks like it would be a drive-through. That's the primary access for the property. You go underneath that eave, and as you go into the back, it opens up into parking. I went by there before the Planning and Zoning Commission, as I recall. It's a handicap space and 2 other spaces to the far right in the back, and then 3 additional dedicated spaces directly in the back of the property. And then prior to Ms. Henley acquiring the property, a brand new handicap ramp was built onto the back. It has not even been used to my site, so it's well set up.
Any further discussion by council?
This is diagonally opposite through the Savannah Avenue salon, so there are other businesses nearby. I don't have any problem with it.
All right, any further discussion? All right, seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve with staff conditions? Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, let it show that agenda item 8 has passed. We'll move down to agenda item 9 upon Ms. Henry's return. We would like to advise that agenda item 9 has been removed from the agenda per the, per the applicant. So we move down to agenda item 10, which is consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2024-03, a resolution approving award of contract to Coastal Regional Commission for grant administration services for the 2024 Community Development Block Grant. Mr. Penny, if you will give us a little bit of insight on that.
Mayor, members of the council, if you remember last year, we wanted to apply for CDBG funds. However, there are some requirements that you go through an RFQ process to get someone to administer the grant and apply for the grant, and we missed that window. So in order to apply for those funds this year, what we've done, we've followed the process again from DCA, and we have been able to work out a contract with Coastal Regional Commission to serve as the grant administrator. And so we recommend that you would approve the contract with Coastal Regional Commission to submit the grant, and then also if we receive the grant, they would administer the grant for us. I will say to you that in the contract, if we don't get the grant, it doesn't cost us anything. So this contract is only if we receive the grant will they get compensated.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion by council?
We did, and this is for the Whitesville community that we presented to you at the last work session.
Okay. All right, good deal. All right, and so with that being said, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we move down to agenda item 11, consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2024-04, a resolution to award a contract to Cranston LLC to provide engineering services for the 2024 Community Development Block Grant.
Mayor, members of the council, this is again related to the same project, and this would be the engineer that would help with the design of the project. And again, there's no cost to us on this end, but then if we are awarded a grant, the contractor would be compensated for administration of that grant. We do recommend Cranston LLC.
Any discussion by council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, all right, we move on to agenda item 12, which is consideration of a motion to approve proposed task order number 8 in the amount of $198,655 with Goodwin Mills and Capewood as part of their stormwater master planning professional services agreement for professional services related to a flood control project in North Lake subdivision. The project will be paid from the 2013 SPLOST fund.
Mayor, members of the council, I think previously, we have a contract for this project. This is related to Lake South. And we have some additional tasks that need to be done, and we're recommending Goodwin, Middle, and Kaywood for that work. And so we do recommend approval.
Okay. All right, we're gonna open that up for, council discussion. Any discussion by council?
I don't have any questions. I know there's some people in the audience who have some questions.
Okay.
I think, is this what y'all were talking about? Is this what y'all were talking about? The stormwater on, Lake?
We were wondering if we could make a comment concerning item 9, even though it's been taken off.
Oh, 9 was taken off the,
Okay, so I'll lock some time for you at the end.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is
All right,
that
thank you,
gonna
John.
come up later?
So we're not,
Is that going to come up later, item 9?
are you asking later this evening or later in the future?
Later down the road?
That's up to them.
That's up to the applicant.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they withdrew it for now, but that would be up to the applicant whether they reapply or not.
Okay, is that why the zoning sign has been missing for about a week?
Yeah, is that,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, because we've all wondered.
okay,
They withdrew it because of some of the details related, and so council was not going to rezone that property without having a project that could move forward. And so for right now, it ceases. Now, a year from now, we may see it, or it could be soon, but for right now, it's not an active project.
Okay, so the sign would go back up at that point.
If it was to be rezoned,
Yeah.
it would come back
It
up.
wasn't up very long.
Yeah, but you do need, I'm sorry.
yeah. And this, we're operating in a point of privilege, but for the record, we are out of order.
We are.
Yeah.
Yes,
But that's a
yes.
point of privilege, go ahead.
Well, we heard something that said approved, and so we were concerned that we had missed our moment.
Yeah,
Yes, okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, okay. All right, good deal. All right, so we're gonna get back in order. We're gonna get back, no problem, John. We're gonna get back in order. Is there any discussion in regards to 12 by council? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right. All right, so let's move down to agenda item 13, which is other business from city council. Is there any other business from city council that needs to be discussed?
I'd just like to say that I visited Washington DC with Habitat on the Hill, and it was an exhilarating event. And I have a lot of ideas that I would like to see implemented here in Statesboro when it comes down to affordable homes. And they put out a lot of great ideas as to how we as a community can get more affordable homes here in the city of Statesboro, but we'll discuss that later. But it was very exhilarating and informative.
Thank you, Councilmember Shavers. Anyone else?
Yes, please,
Councilmember
Mayor.
Moore?
Mr. Kenny, are you gonna talk about the governor's circle recognition? I always like to celebrate green things. No, you probably know more about it than I do, but you were gonna cover it, if not, I'll
I
talk
was
about
just
it.
gonna listen to the people here.
Okay, well, I'm just real proud of the Public Works Department and the fact that we got some national recognition for progress. It's a Governor's Circle recognition awarded to KSBD, Keep Statesboro Beautiful. And it's all about litter reduction, waste minimization, and community greening. So we all know that makes us happier and healthier being green. So I just want to shout out that I'm proud of Public Works and they're earning that. We also want to mention the dates. It's this Saturday. We're going to be the next resource day, and this is going to be the one at the Visitors Bureau from 10 till 4.
10 to 3.
10 to 3, thank you. So everybody's invited out, particularly people who live nearby, but anybody in Statesboro who wants to get in touch with local agencies that provide services to families and to children, feel free to come out. They always have games and food and fun things to do, as well as a lot of really good information. So thank you for putting it together and invite everybody to attend.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. State of the city, are you going to discuss it or do you want me to say anything? Okay. Yeah, I try to let everybody get theirs in, and, you know, go ahead, John.
Just two things. As a historian, I want everybody to know that I wasn't here last Thursday, last Tuesday, two weeks ago. We want to tell y'all that Bullock County was created on February the 8th, 1796. That makes us 228 years old, right?
Yeah.
And then on the 12th, Georgia was founded by Oglethorpe on 2/12/1733. Who can do that? Faster than
Oh.
Anyway, happy birthday, Georgia. Happy birthday, Bullock County.
And for the record, February the 8th is also my birthday.
February the 8th is also-
I'm so Bullock County, I was born on the same day it was created. Let's put that out. Yeah, just not almost. Absolutely. Any further business by council? Okay. If not, we do, a week from today, we do want to invite everyone out for our annual State of the City address. It's going to be held over at the April Center at 7 p.m. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to, you know, recognize some great things that we've done over the past year, lay out the vision for us over the next year, and then also recognize some good folks who are in the community that's been doing some great work as well. So if you guys are not doing anything, we would love for you guys to come out and be a part of that. With that being said, we'll move down to city manager comments. Mr. Penny, do you have anything for us?
I do, Mayor. I have a few things just want to mention to you. On next Monday at 6 o'clock, and I'm saying this here because there's been a lot of concern in Bullock County in reference to water. And so EPD will be in Bullock County at Southeast Bullock High School on Monday the 26th at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 9 o'clock p.m. They are coming, EPD will be making a presentation about the impact of wells, the proposed wells for the meta plant in Southeast Bullock County. And so I'm mentioning that because I think it's really important for our citizens to be aware of, there's a lot of information, a lot of misinformation. This is an opportunity to go and hear from an expert about the impact of this economic boom that we have the opportunity to benefit from in our community. So I would just encourage anyone that has any questions to attend that meeting. We're all Bullock County residents, and so we should be a part of that. And then I also just wanted to mention a flyer was delivered, and I believe every house in Statesboro and Bullock County will receive. I received mine today. That went into more detail about the facts of what the impact of those wells will have on our community. But it also put out a lot of facts about our economy. It talked about Statesboro, Bullock County, Statesboro being the 4th poorest city in the state, and the opportunity to have some positive impact on our community with jobs at the meta plant starting at an average of $58,000 a year. And so we need to see the glass as being half full versus being half empty. And so I just want to mention that.
Okay, Mr. I want to interject before you consider that. I know it's daunting to hear that our city is the 4th poorest city in the state percentage-wise, but we need to get some clarification on that, right? In 2018, our city's poverty rate was 53%. Okay, the latest studies that's come out now says that our poverty rate is now 41, and then if you look at another one, it says it's 37. What that means is that as a community, we've reduced it from 53 to 41. And that's something that needs to be celebrated because a lot of people have went to work in this community, and we are at the precipice of a great time as far as our economy is concerned. To think about this, this is the beginning of my 7th year in this role. And over the course of the first 6 years of this team working together, the poverty rate has been reduced by in and around 20% in this community. That is absolutely amazing. Are we where we want to be? No. Are we going? Is that journey over with? No, it's not. But we have to be very, very optimistic to see that a community is moving that fast and so quickly in the right direction. Many communities have poverty rates that's that high, and they last for decades. Whereas our community, we're working to break that down. So when you talk about going from 53 to 41, and depending on what data set you look at, even possibly as low as 37. If it's 37, that means we've cut it by 16 points. Like, that is a tremendous feat. So I know it's daunting to kind of see that, but if you've been on this journey, you know where we started from. And I will say this, and this is a candid moment on my part. When we were asked in 2018 what was the biggest issue that our city was facing, we said clearly that it was poverty. We said it was clearly poverty. And every year that question has been asked, that answer remains the same. It's poverty. And until we can get that down to zero, it's always going to be the top priority for us. And so with that being said, Statesboro, hold your head up, because for us to come as far as we did, that's where we need to be. And I wish that the article had talked about where we came from to be where we are now, because we were celebrating. Because if they used that data point from 2017, we would have been number one. And so for us to continue to work to bring that down, that's what we want to continue to do. But I know that it's daunting. But Mr. Penny, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. The other thing I want to just mention, in your FYI packet, there's a lot of information, and I do want to join Ms. Barr in congratulating our staff on being recognized for the Government Circle recognition. But I also want to thank the mayor and the council for your commitment to making our KSBB coordinator a full-time position, because that's the only way you can make that type of impact and get these recognitions, is to have the human capital to make these things happen. And so although Amanda has left us, we're still benefiting from the good work that she did for the years that she was here, and we're going through a process to select someone else. But we do thank the folks in Public Works. They work hard, and they do a great job, and they deserve the recognition. Then the other thing I just want to mention, I want to appreciate Bullock County. The county manager shared, and we shared with y'all, the Periscope. Bullock is bullish for now, and this economic data about our community and shows where we are as far as unemployment, and we're in a good place. And so I just want to give them a shout out for the data that was shared, and just say to the mayor and council, you can go to the web, but mayor and council will provide copies of it as well. But we do thank Tom Couch and his staff for putting that together. The other thing I want to say is that call out when the council approved the anti-discrimination policy, you set a goal for minority and female business enterprises being a part of our operation, and you set a goal of 20%. And I'm very proud of our organization for making a big impact. And so in 2021, we were at 22.25%. 21-22, we were at 33.34%. And for 22-23, we were at 32.8%. That is a major accomplishment. So we want to call that out. And
those are small businesses owned by
those are small, yes, minority and female businesses have the opportunity to do business with us, in particular in major projects. And I will even say, and I'm going to call the business out, but when we renovated this building, one of our contractors said that when you first put these guidelines in place, they thought it was going to be very onerous. But after doing it, what they found is that it really helped them improve their network and the connections that they made with these small businesses in our community. So y'all have to pat yourself on the back and appreciate our community as well for making these great strides. And so just want to call that out. And then the last thing I'm going to say, we're almost at springtime, and Miss Olympia has been busy with her team. And the concert series last year, John, we did 4 concerts. This year we're going to 8. And so April the 18th is our first concert. The Tams will be here on April the 18th. Then we got May 2nd, we got Papa Soul. All right. May 7th, I don't know. Then on May 30th, we have Liquid Pleasure. Okay. Then on June 13th, we have the Dukes of Country. All right. And then they was there. June 13th. Sorry, I'm writing them all down. June 27th is going to be the Swinging Medallions. July 11th is the Max Band. And then August the 8th will be Fantasy Band. And then on September 12th will be Cole Goodwin. And so we got lots of great reviews from last year. And we only did 4 concerts. So we're going to start a little earlier. So I think we're going to start later at 7 to give people a chance to get home. And hopefully in the summertime when it's hot, it'll be a little bit cooler. But we want to thank y'all for allowing us to have that concert series. But I do know y'all got to get your I forgot that last day. I do know y'all got rave reviews last year for the concert series.
And they did an amazing job. I do kind of want to piggyback on what Mr. Penny said about us improving our opportunity to work with local female and minority businesses. To kind of translate, because I know there's a little bit of question about that before. And I will say, extend thank you to this council for having the courage and to embrace what we understood were the facts. What that tells us is this, is that we're putting more of our local people to work. That's what that does. By putting more of our local people to work, we're able to keep those dollars that this institution is spending locally within our community. And so that was what the whole point and purpose of that is. And at the end of the day, I think if women hadn't showed anything else on this council, I think women have shown that they make great decisions when they're put into leadership roles. And that's what we've seen in this community. And when we go back and talk about cutting poverty rate, it's innovative ideas like that and the other things that we continue to invest into. That's why we're seeing the progress that we're seeing. So again, I want to thank the council for everything. And John, you do good too. You know, we got the women on that. But we just do what they tell me to say. Yeah. But we do want to say, thank you to this body for having the courage. Because a lot of times we get pushed back from individuals that really don't know what's going on. But only time really can tell, what the decisions are. So thank y'all on that. With that being said,
I'm sorry, I thought of one other thing. Actually, you inspired me to one other request, talking about the poverty that Statesboro deals with, particularly with this development getting pulled. We don't know why, but I would like to request that staff come back to us with some ideas about what can we do as a governing body to deal with the need for low-income housing. So I'm wondering, I don't know what time frame is needed, but I would just love it if staff could give us some guidance. Is there anything we can do to try to make more of that available here in Statesboro?
No, I do. Where's Justin? Justin, what's the name of the group that gets together in regards to housing? I forget the name.
You mean Chart?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
we met actually not too long ago.
Come forward. They already working. Like I said, Professor.
Well, Mayor, we actually met last week in regards to a project, and we are looking to bring a recommendation before council regarding another low-income housing tax credit project. So we are still working diligently in regards to figuring that out, and I'll speak to Kathy regarding some possible items if directed to do so.
Okay, good deal. Thank you. So they are already working. Yeah.
So That sounds great, Justin, to hear from you, what you're working on. I'd love to
Yeah, I'm
hear
excited about it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. If there's nothing further, we are in the space for public comments, and we do have one person signed up for public comments. But if there's anyone else that would like any comments to be made, please feel free to do so. But the first person that we have on our agenda is Miss Annie Bellinger. Miss Bellinger, she's right over there. I'm so used to seeing Miss Bellinger on the right hand side.
It's me again, Lord. I can understand now, like everybody mostly in here knows me, so I don't have to repeat my name. But I can understand now why there's so many shootings in the schools out of the kids, and you can't figure out why. It's simply because y'all do not understand. You continuously hit people. Now, I've been living at 134 Mars Street for 50 years. Never missed a payment on my water bill. Never was late. All of a sudden, this year, we got a bill brought over. I didn't argue about that because I know what that meant. The sharecroppers always had something left from last year they had to pay next year. They never made anything. That's where that came in. I paid the bill. Somehow another 47 cents got missing. I was harassed 2 times before the first of the next month about 47 cents. 47 cents, and I have paid y'all for 50 years. But all of a sudden, I get ready to cut my water off, ready to make it retaining fee, and a cut-on fee for 47 cents. Can you believe it? And this here, riding past people hollering, or walking past people hollering, that's what they did to the slaves. And they also did this to the slaves. You got to sit in a certain seat, you got to drink out of a certain fountain. These are the things that reason your children are pulling triggers, because you're not paying any attention to what you're saying and doing in front of these children. Now, if I was a weak child, which my dad and mama taught me to be real strong, I would fight till you knock me down. So I'm a strong person. I don't pull triggers. You might catch me every once in a while swinging a fist, but you won't catch me pulling no triggers or killing nobody. But this is why your children is like they is, because you are picking, continuously picking, and everybody shove it to the side. Ain't no truth to that. Ain't no truth. There's some truth to that right there. Look in that paper that you got and see the truth there. 3 times in 1 month I was harassed for 47 cents after paying a water bill for 50 years. Now, is this going to stop, or will I have to take it some further? Because it's going to stop, because I'm old now. I think I deserve some peace of mind after paying a water bill to a city for 50 years. Smut's on your face, anything else you want to put on your face, it doesn't matter with me. But I will put a stop to it one way or the other. Because I'm not going to put no triggers on you, because I'm not going to go to jail. I'm not going to be sitting in jail for 5 or 6 years for pulling a trigger on you. But I will stop you one way or the other. Like one of my principals told me when I was in school. He told my mama, he said, you always fussing at Ann about fighting. She don't start all the fights she get into. But there are people in this world that's born fighters. And they have to fight their way through life. And say, she's one of them. Then after I got old, I went to the principal and I asked him. I said, well, now, I'm too old to fight. What am I going to do now? He said, fight with words. And that's what I'll do. from here on out, that's exactly what I was decided with.
Thank you, Ms. Haney. All right. Is there anyone else that'd like to add to public comments? Yes, sir. When you come forward, please state your name.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm Leo Sable, I live on Fletcher Drive. Think y'all have both been to our meeting before. We appreciate that very much. Before I get into my comment, I want to thank you so much for bringing the music back. We had friends who visited us from Pennsylvania last year. We brought them to one of the concerts. They not only liked the music, but they made the comment how nice our community was. I think that really builds community. I do want to make a few comments about the proposal of the project on Matthews and 301. It's not so much in opposition as we have some reservations and some objections to it. But I really am not totally opposed to that. So I realize we're going to have all this growth and that's going to happen. The density of population is going to be quite dense. Probably talking about 800 individuals living there and producing somewhere between 350 and 400 vehicles. If any of you who are familiar with Matthews Road must realize that road is not capable of dealing with that type of population at this time. So I wonder if City Council or the Department of Transportation has done a study on the use of the street and the roads as to what can be done there. That intersection there with Matthews and 301 is a difficult one. And you also have the intersection of Zitterauer and 301, which this project would impact. We on Fletcher Drive and the community there are concerned that some of that traffic is going to back up and want to use Fletcher Drive. That would not be good for us. So I think the council needs to consider that before they approve this. I would think a subdivision or a project like that, half the size and with a reconstruction of Matthews Road would be a better situation. But unfortunately, you didn't have the people here tonight, so I don't know what their position is. But anyway.
I'm actually one of them.
You're one of them?
Yeah, I live off Lynn Avenue, right off Fletcher, and
Okay.
I'm worried about it. I have a daughter who they ride their bikes around the neighborhood and such. And, you know, they love the place, a good area. A lot of people tend to walk the neighborhood and such. And that is a major concern, how much traffic and is going to be coming back through. Because we sometimes have even issues with semi-trucks.
Let me let you come up. You can take my place. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Appreciate y'all making the time for us tonight. I got here real late. I had to pick my daughter from soccer practice, but that's one of our concerns. Is my name is Robert Brown Jr. I live off of Lynn Avenue. It branches right off of Fletcher Drive, and you first come over Fletcher Drive to the left there. It's a great, quiet neighborhood. I've been living there since 2016 with my two. I'm a single father with two kids. I have a 13-year-old and my 12-year-old daughter. And it's a nice little neighborhood, nice and quiet. A lot of people walk around, and my daughter, I have no worries of my kids riding their bikes and such. But that's one concern we've had is, you know, sometimes people already go through Fletcher Drive and cutting through, and we even had some issues with semi-trucks coming through a good bit there. At one point, they have narrowed it down. I don't know if somebody addressed something at one point, but that would increase a whole lot more traffic. I'm sure a lot of people will start cutting through off of Fletcher Drive there. And another concern of mine is, you know, if there's going to be any kind of more extra patrols or anything like that, and I don't mean no disrespect to anyone when I say this, but when that kind of housing comes, usually a higher that amount of quality of people too. I guess a lot of people with that kind of housing. I'm kind of worried about the crime rate level, you know, increasing up because we've been happy living there, but I want to feel safe in my neighborhood. I mean, that's one of my concerns as well. As well as some of our property values and how it's going to affect our property values.
Okay. And what I'll say is this right here, right now, it has been pulled. What the future entails, I can't say whether they're going to bring it back or not. But what I would continue to say is that if you guys see the signage come up or anything like that, definitely make sure that you are a part of that process, because I think it's important for us to get a good understanding of the direction that you would like, you know, your neck of the woods to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, just to be transparent, I live on the next street over, off of Zell Route.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I go through Fletcher heading over to Whitesville,
Yeah.
So we all basically neighbors in that same area. Oh yeah, that's right, you live over there too, so, yeah, but I think the biggest thing is all of us kind of communicate, and this is, I want to say this to you guys, and say this to the entire city. We're growing, more people are moving in, and so we're going to see developments coming places that we're not used to seeing them. But I do believe that we want to monitor what spaces are more applicable to what spaces.
Yeah, that's my point. I'm not opposed to it come out, just we're more concerned about maybe a different location, maybe better suitable for something like that. Right there, again, like how you said, how the structure would be with the traffic. That's a lot of people going back and forth through those roads there. And also you have that railroad that ties right there, and that holds up traffic as well. So you imagine all that flow there. It's going to be a mess there. There really is, unless something is structurally designed to change how the traffic flow is.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I tell you, nothing happens without it. The one thing that we pride ourselves on is being transparent. So any planning commission, any of these meetings, if you want to get in contact with any person up here, staff member, we try to be as open as possible for that.
I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that being said, if y'all need anything, y'all let us know. We're definitely be willing to talk and make sure you understand, you know, what direction is going with.
Great, and I just want to add, I appreciate all of the hard work y'all done with that park across the old Fletcher house itself.
Oh.
It is really looking nice out there. It's nice to walk outside there and take a walk around the pond and stuff. Y'all done a great job with that.
I was gonna tell it. I was gonna let you get it out, but that's the county. The county did.
Oh, excuse me. Well, still, either way, that's a great aspect.
We put pressure on them about fixing up other parts. We put pressure on them. They weren't gonna let us outdo them too much, but they doing a great job. Though.
Well, they are. Well, thank you for your time, and I hope y'all have a blessed night.
All right, you take care now.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Y'all were talking about the Bolton zoning signs, the
Yellow notice.
yeah, the yellow notice sitting out in the middle of the road and then they were gone. If you see them back out,
yeah, come back and see us.
Come back and see us.
I most likely do.
But they can't do anything unless you see those signs out.
They can actually attend that zoning meeting.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to go to that.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you should say the date and time on the.
And that's on y'all's website?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Thank you. I appreciate that information.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we'll move on down. At this point now, we want to break to go into executive session. I appreciate it. So is there a consideration of a motion to enter executive session to discuss personnel and real estate matters in accordance with OCGA 50-14-3B? Is there a motion to enter executive session? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.